Popland, RK Stud with you, and with the Toxipop crew, and
welcome to Motor City Comic Con 2015!
Matt Wagner, how are we doing this morning?
We're doing good.
And so how'd you get started in comics?
How did I get started in comics? You mean professionally or reading them?
Did you start reading them? Start right there.
My mom was an English teacher and always encouraged me to read. Read. And I was an only child, and I grew up kind of out in the country and didn't have a lot of video entertainment, and I drew to entertain myself. And comics were both of that wrapped into one. And unlike a lot of English teachers of her generation, she didn't care that I was reading comics so long as I was reading.
Alright. I think some mothers are like that too. My mother's like that too. She was just glad I read.
Yep.
So who influenced you to draw?
I don't really know, because neither of my parents could draw at all. They were not artists in the least. I don't know, somehow I just gravitated to it. Again, you know, there wasn't the level of distraction there is nowadays. You know, we had a black and white TV set, and I think it only got 4 channels. So I have to assume it was reading stories, and the stories I read would conjure pictures in my mind, and I would draw the pictures that I saw.
So no legendary artist like Jack Kirby or...
No. I was drawing long before I realized any names of artists. Yeah. In fact, my parents had a school memories book, you know, one of those scrapbook deals. And during all the grade school years, 1 through 6, they had a little spot, you know, next to where you write your weight, your picture, and all that stuff. Height. It said what I want to be when I grow up. And one year I wrote astronaut. And I have to assume that's the year they landed on the moon, 1967. And every other year I wrote comic book writer. Because I just assumed whoever wrote them drew them too. You know? So, I mean, as time went on, I started to recognize artists, and I had favorites, of course. But I was already drawing a lot of that.
Alright, so what was your first professional comic book?
Oh, first professional was the work I did for Kamiko, the introduction of Gremlin in primer number 2. But previously to that, the college I went to in Northern Virginia, more like Central, James Madison University. I worked on the school newspaper. That was almost the best educational experience I had. They went to press twice a week. They had a really big circulation. We were a big school. And I did a comic strip for them twice a week. So that introduced me to deadlines. And additionally then I was their graphic illustrator, which meant that the nights they went to press, Wednesday and Sunday night, I had to show up at the offices. And they already had the paper laid out. Wherever there wasn't an ad, a photo, or copy, wherever there was a blank space, I had to do an illustration to fill that in. And I couldn't leave till it was done. So I'd show up around 9, and I usually didn't leave till 2 or 3 in the morning. And that was my first experience with not drawing because I wanted to, but because I had to. And for that, I got a 1 credit A, and I think about $35 a month. It's back in like 1980. It was awesome. So that was, I'd have to say, that's my first published work, you know. But yeah, my first professionally published work was prime number 2, the introduction of Gremlin.
Now, how did you come up with Gremlin?
Well, there weren't a lot of anti-heroes in comics back then. You know, Marvel had attempted to do a few. They had a title called Supervillain Team Up. Never really seemed to last. And I had become interested in anti-heroes. I was a big fan when I was a teenager of Michael Moorcock's work. I loved Hellraiser. And so this concept that you could have this central character that wasn't necessarily a good guy kind of inspired me. And then I discovered a couple of Italian comic strips that kind of followed that same sort of vein. So I endeavored to come up with a strip where the bad guy was the main character, not the other way around.
You also did the work on Batman. How was that working on Dark Knight?
Yeah, I did a lot of Batman. It was great. I mean, the nice thing about my career has been that I started in the Indies and developed a professional reputation before I went and worked with the big guys stuff. So for the most part, everybody leaves me alone. I don't have a lot of editorial interference. They seem to grant that I know what I'm doing, and it's pretty much the same as when I work on my own stuff. So.
Now, how did you connect with Dynamite doing Shadow?
Well, previously to the Shadow, the way I first got hooked up with Dynamite was via Zorro. I wrote the cover arts for Zorro for 30 some issues. I've known the publisher of Dynamite since he was 12 or 13 years old. He used to hang out at the comic book store in Philadelphia. So I kind of kept my eye on Nick Perucci, his name is. Kind of kept my eye on Nick over the years, and they had done that relaunch of the Lone Ranger, which I thought was a really great way to reinterpret a character. It made it kind of young and fresh, but didn't really change the character. And then I saw they got the rights to Zorro, and I've always loved Zorro. And I called Nick and said, "Hey, let me," because John Cassaday was the regular cover artist on Lone Ranger. And I said, "Hey, let me be your Cassaday on Zorro. Let me be your anchor cover artist." And he wrote me back and he said, "Well, how about writing it too? What do you think about writing it?" And I hadn't really considered that, but I thought, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So the first gig with them was Zorro, and then from there I did Green Hornet Year 1, 12 issues of that. And then they got the Shadow, and I was busy with something else when they were doing the Shadow, so I was really kind of disappointed. And then I had a spot clear up, and I called Nick and said, "Look, let me do the Shadow Year 1. Let me give the Year 1 treatment to the Shadow." The story of how he first returns to America from abroad, and how he first. Because you got to figure when he was overseas, he probably wasn't wearing the hat and the cloak and everything. It's a very American sort of look. So how he develops that persona, how he starts to gather his agents, how he meets Margot Lane for the first time. So that was kind of a dream come true because I was a big Shadow fan from way back when.
So am I.
Yeah. I first discovered the Shadow when I was about 12 or 13. And my parents were slightly older. They're like World War II generation. So they would tell me about actually listening to the Shadow live on the radio. And when I was about 12 or 13, DC first introduced their series that Michael Kaluta drew and that Denny O'Neil wrote. So, I saw this ad in the DC Comics, and here was this guy pointing guns at you, and superheroes of that day didn't have guns, So I was really intrigued, and of course I knew the catchphrase. And at the same time, you could, about that time, so what's that? Early 70s, early to mid 70s, all of a sudden you could get a lot of the radio programs on LP vinyl. So I was buying some of those. And then about a year after that, after the comic series premiered, Pyramid Books started doing the trade paperback reissues of the Hulk novels that had the Jim Steranko covers. So I got a big double, triple dose of the Spirit of the Shadow all at once. So that was great, yeah.
Yeah, no, I got introduced to the Shadow from my grandfather.
Yeah.
And ever since then.
Yeah, and same thing. He probably listened to him on the radio, right?
Didn't listen to him on the radio. I had a cassette tape of an adventure.
Oh, yeah.
One of the programs. And one of the comic books from the Kaluta era, and it just grew. So
Yep.
I don't know what it is about it, but I'm glad to find a fellow Shadow fan and the perfect guy to write the Shadow. And you got anything else you'd like to plug?
Well, my next gig for Dynamite is I'm writing a relaunch of The Spirit, Cool Eyes vs. Spirit. This is the 75th anniversary of the character, and they approached me and said, "We think you'd be the perfect writer for this. What do you think?" And so it premieres just about a month from now, July 1st.
July 1st. Anything you want to say to your fans?
I hope you like The Spirit.
All right. Oh, it's such a pleasure.
Thanks,
you.
man. Yep.
Toxic Pop has a new Facebook page. Like it to see pictures and keep informed about our upcoming events and videos. A link is in the description. Go to www.facebook.com/toxicpop1.